and I'll say it now because it's a pet peeve of mine, but it's like seeing parents still carrying kids' bags into primary schools. I'm like, come on, man, like they can carry their own bag. But it is those sorts of things. Can they put their stuff away? Can they, put their shoes in their bag and their wet clothes, and can they find their lunchbox? And
Well, it goes back to them even knowing what's theirs, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to Fika's Focus. Voices leading change.
Right, kia ora everyone. We are here with Rose and Lauren. We are talking about our Kura Club program. Now, for some of you may not know that Rose is actually a qualified primary teacher and worked at Pies Pa with the team there, and has got experience in that space, and obviously myself coming out of primary school as well. But it's a real passion project for Lauren and Rose. It's something that they've been taking their time with, but now really getting some real cool momentum because they've gathered their thoughts. So, Lauren, what is Kura Club program?
What is it? Can we start with where it came from?
Yep, where it came. Let's start there.
And
That's a great one.
how we started. So
Yes.
Rose and I started in Papamoa by visiting the local schools, going into them and literally just meeting them, having a chat, figuring out what their priorities were. We chatted briefly about a few children that had transitioned in and how that went.
So just quickly, sorry, that's Tātai, Te Ako Ki, Papamoa Primary, Golden Sands, Te
And
Manawa.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, we did all five.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was specifically in the new entrance
Space.
Yes.
space, just to see what their ideal new entrant, what the ideal 5-year-old, kind of what qualities that child has, and how we can make sure that we're providing the best support for those children so that when they walk through those doors, they've got the most successful start
Yes.
that they hopefully can have,
And then so from that information with the 5 schools, Rose and I collated all of that feedback that they gave us.
It was quite different.
It was, because the schools are quite different in terms of the program that they offer and what skills and attributes they wanted the children to have. So then with that information we gathered all the similarities and differences and kind of put them all into one program.
So we were well received actually too. I want to say that, like, we were well received from the primary schools, because what we want to do is make it easier for children going into that space, and what they want to do is giving us the tools to know what makes it easier for them coming into their spaces. There are some real general trends, like, can the children self-manage? That's a real big one. And I'll say it now because it's a pet peeve of mine, but it's like seeing parents still carrying kids' bags into primary schools. I'm like, come on, man, like they can carry their own bag. But it is those sorts of things. Can they put their stuff away? Can they, put their shoes in their bag and their wet clothes, and can they find their lunchbox? And
Well, it goes back to them even knowing what's theirs, right?
Understand.
well done. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, because why do you think we have 58 million socks?
Yes.
Yeah. It's
every
we're
future
literally a sock graveyard. But so just in those elements, how did you decide, or what was your kind of what did you lean into, knowing that the schools are different? What were you, when it came to the design, what was your thought process there?
It took a lot of time, so we just spent a lot of time with each school, and like the primary schools are so busy, so it was really great. Like, we were so grateful that they made time for us, and they were really, all of them were so receptive of building this relationship, which I'm very grateful for. I want to say that. But what we did is, after we had seen each primary school, we got together and reflected on, okay, they run things all differently, but what are the common themes? Because there were some real common threads throughout each school, regardless of what their transition program looks like, whether it's cohort, whether it's they start on their birthday, whether they have a real play-based focus or not. There were some real common themes for those foundational skills.
What's some of them? Just elaborate.
So
I've spoken to one. So self-management is a big one.
Yeah, but I just want to add to that too, Ray. A lot of the schools actually reiterated the fact that children don't recognise their volume in the classroom, for a start.
Oh, that's good.
Or how to use walking feet.
Yes.
They often move quickly because in early childhood they can.
Yes. In my experience also, actually proper bathroom etiquette.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bathroom etiquette is a big one. You know, like, as much fun as it is throwing wet balls up into the of paper up into the
Ceiling,
roof.
of
And it
course.
is fun. If you haven't given it a go, I suggest you do it. Just to get it out of your system.
But not at future focus.
But not at future focus. Not the kids, I mean the adults. But like bathroom etiquette, I found in my experience in new entrants was actually something you had to literally train.
Yeah.
Because when you think of the difference in the spaces, there is generally a teacher that helps with toiletry
Yes.
in an ECS
Yes.
space, but we
But
don't
not-
have that in primary
not in
school.
primary.
So that's a huge adjustment for our children. Even the physical space size is quite different. So that's probably why in ECE we see a bit more of them moving a bit quicker and not having as much awareness of the surroundings around them because they do have the space.
Well, I think it's like big swinging doors to get into the primary school space. There's lots of now got their own cubicles. You know, in fact, there you go. This is our old aim, I guess. The school that I originally worked at had a urinal. My first, which you would never find a urinal these days, but there was a urinal, so that was far easier to coach boys into going for a wee into a urinal than what it is today, and that's not relevant in our settings either. But you're right; it is they just drop back in pure teacher numbers, so there is a lot of differing aspects.
Also, the fact they've got to ask to go to the toilet. You know, like in a primary school space, I don't want to use the word permission because it's not. You are free to go to the toilet when, but you have to let somebody know. Whereas in early childhood, you don't. You can actually take yourself.
But I think that part of that is part of the health and safety aspect to it too, because I know, you know, in the event that there's a fire. Because often they used to have the joint classes and the toilet block would be in the middle.
Yes.
But with a lot of the modern learning environments now, it's not like that. The toilet is a block. It's in a block. You know.
It's also that
Sorry, Sam.
like leaving the room. So in ECE, being able to free flow inside and outside at pretty much all times of the day.
You can't
Whereas in primary school, you need to let your teacher know, or there's certain times of the day that you're out and you're all out together, and then you're all in together. So it's quite different for children to understand all of that.
So the Kura Club is going to help. How are we going to help families feel like we're supporting them for success going into that space around what we've just spoken about? Because it's direct, it's contradictory in practice and behaviour, probably.
So I think for us, the program, with all of those similarities, we created, obviously some more structured learning skills came through, right? Like it wasn't, your child has to be able to write. Like that's not what they came back with. But some of the things they did come back with were, which I found quite interesting, were the fact that like, can they retell a story?
Yeah.
Like if you read a book to them, can they actually comprehend and then retell
or
some of
even
that
just
story?
know the characters' names. Like, are they comprehending the content of the story rather than just listening?
Yes.
Are they comprehending? And stuff like following instructions was a big thing. Like, do they understand that when you, there's a sequence of instructions. So that kind
and
of
can
thing,
they follow them in that order?
Yeah.
You know, and the other one that's really stood out to me was the core skills to be able to
gross
like,
motor.
to sit on the
properly.
mat.
I know.
Which surprised me.
Sitting as a
Because I think it was at Tahatai we were talking about it, that if they're concentrating on keeping their bodies still and straight, they're not going to be actually listening to what's happening and concentrating on that, because their body is still learning how to sit. So if they're learning how to sit, they can't then learn how to read at the same time that they're learning how to sit. So how can we support those foundations so that when they come in, they're ready?
Which is, the relevance is actually very high, because the world is so quick today that most people can't sit down and concentrate for 5 minutes on anything. Like, you put a phone next to someone and they'll watch TV, but they'll pick up the phone. And they'll put the phone down, then they'll watch TV, they'll pick up the phone. Like, that's actually a very relevant piece. And when we're asking children in those spaces it's a sustained effort. I don't know if it's, I challenge the word structure a wee bit, because I think we're talking about sustained efforts. Structure, it's like if a child's really interested in it, like when I saw kids at Te Manawa on the building, on their carpentry table, but kids were like into it.
Yeah, maybe structure is not the right word. Maybe formalised.
Yes, and I think
structure happens
sustained. Sustained, because I will go into any of our centres today, I will find kids doing sustained learning for literally,
most of the day, sometimes
large periods of, and the beauty of what we do is that we don't go and interrupt them. We let them play it out. But that sustained window of learning that we're asking of children in those settings of primary and things is a change up, because actually they don't have a determination over that. It's not like they walk in the morning and they're like, you know what, I just want to do literacy all day. I want to read where the wild things are, they're like, cool, but we've got to get through this. So the skills that we're hoping that what we want to see is improving the probability of success for them as they go in to school. What does a rollout look like for Kura Club? What's your kind of rough ideas because this is a brand new concept for us.
So each centre has someone that is really interested in being the champion, I suppose, of the program. So they have naturally shown an interest in the transition to primary school. And so we've created a bit of a collaborative group that we're going to be able to share resources and stuff. But they are going to roll out the program in their individual centre at least once a week with a group of 4-year-olds. Each centre will be slightly different because there's a different amount of 4-year-olds. There's different programs throughout the day, so it will look slightly different in every centre. But they will have these core components of oral language, print recognition, gross motor, fine motor. All those things will be embedded in the program that they do with this group of 4-year-olds, but based on the children's abilities and interests and really tailored to those tamariki in that group.
And who they know.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. It's a bit of a whittle and a bit of a challenge. We often lose whānau because they're like, we're going to go to the kindy because of their school readiness program. Yeah. We do exactly the same, if not better. Yeah. I'm going to say it. Kindies do not do anything better than what we do.
And we've got some really passionate teachers in that.
Well, I'm just going to go through it. We've got, let's just go around. Pat Beach, Kate Linsky, primary qualified. We've got Eve at primary qualified. Taryn, primary qualified. And the Armin, high school, EC and high, and Terry's also primary qualified.
And
Aroha, and Ariana down there, primary qualified. Yeah. We've actually got people who know the system, so and we've got a real eclectic mix of people from different environments and realms that bring the experiences and passions
and have
into
the
that
understanding
space.
of ECE and primary school and understand how to bridge that.
Yes,
because they
know the challenges on both sides.
Yeah, they understand both settings. They understand what a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old the difference between them, the similarities between them, and how to get them hopefully where they need to be.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll continue to update this because I know this is a real passion project for you guys, and I can tell you of my conversations I've had with people, they're really pumped up about what this is going to be because it's structure and its support and things. But yeah, this is a huge increasing value space. So well done, team. Well done. We look forward to seeing it roll out.